Hello everybody, I am Hetsko, and today I'm back with another Doctor Who Series 12 Everything We Know video, this time about Episode 5, Fugitive of the Judoon, which is coming out tomorrow on the 26th of January. It is written by Vinay Patel and Chris Chibnall, so the first episode of this series which has sort of got co-writing credits. This happened last year with Rosa, and that turned out alright, so we'll just have to wait and see. We'll get to why I think Chibnall's been involved, you know, to a significant amount in just a bit, but for now we'll just keep going through. The director is Nida Manzoor, same as the last episode, which was quite well directed, so I'm looking forward to this. The synopsis is as follows. Trigger-happy space police the Judoon are targeting 21st century Gloucester, so the Doctor, Yaz, Ryan and Graham race back to Earth in order to prevent them doing too much damage to the cathedral city. But who are the Judoon looking for, and what did they do to incur their wrath? Very interesting. A little bit of a synopsis there. There's a little bit new information, but then not too much. I like the idea that the TARDIS team are off-world, and it looks like they have to race back to Earth, you know, try and get there in time, despite her actually having a time machine, so that's a bit strange. However, I'll be interested to see how that plays out. You know, having the Judoon back is great. It's incredible, it's fun, it's the second returning monster of the Chibnall era. We had the Daleks last series, very briefly in Resolution. And now we've got Judoon, which haven't had their own dedicated episode since they first appeared back in 2007's Smith and Jones. They've obviously appeared several times since then in brief sort of cameos and such. Stolen Earth, to name one. You've got Goodman Goes to War, like Face the Raven or something I think they appeared in, was it? And like The Magician's Apprentice. There's loads of different minor cameos from them because it's just a monster that the Doctor Who prop department has, and they're like, well, if we've got a big space scene, we may as well chuck one in the background. Yeah, it's their first proper episode dedicated to them since their very first appearance, so that's quite exciting. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it, because I actually quite like Smith and Jones. I think it works quite well as a series opener, but yeah, it sort of almost feels like a one-time thing, so I'm very interested to see how they're going to do this and what they're going to do with the sort of monsters and characters that are the Judoon. According to Chris Chibnall, it will see the Judoon land in modern-day Gloucester investigating a space crime, which is kind of covered in the synopsis. It's very vague as to what the space crime is or who's responsible. I have a feeling that's probably going to be part of the mystery of the episode, trying to work out who is actually under threat here. Who are the Judoon coming after? Because I'm pretty sure, and I haven't seen Smith and Jones in a while, but I'm pretty sure the last time we saw them like that, they didn't actually have jurisdiction over Earth. They had to like actually pull the hospital and dump it on the moon to actually be able to investigate it, which is pretty interesting. The Judoon in the episode do actually shoot an old woman as she sort of runs away from them in fear. We saw that when they were filming on location outside of Gloucester Cathedral, sort of running away screaming, and then she gets shot and then screams again. They seem to be going around scanning people in the local area, minding their own business, just trying to work out. I think it's probably one of those DNA type things again, similar to Smith and Jones, which is kind of my worry. I don't want it to be too close to Smith and Jones, because if it is, then it just feels like just retreading a monster or an old sort of alien for the sake of it. Jodie and the Judoon did film a full day inside the cathedral, which obviously we don't have any pictures of because it was inside the cathedral, which was off limits throughout the whole shoot. They also go to a cafe in Cardiff, which presumably will be set in Gloucester. They're just using Cardiff as sort of a hotspot like they have done for the rest of Doctor Who. All the main cast are present, and we do see a few images from that cafe in just a bit, so we'll get on to that. A Judoon ship is seen firing a laser towards Earth. At first I thought this might be some sort of teleport ray or something, but in the next time trailer I believe Jodie says something along the lines of, like, the Judoon have fired a warning shot almost, which is kind of threatening. A bit strange how the Judoon are now being a bit more hostile than before. I mean, they were hostile in Smith and Jones when someone attacked them, but yeah, a little bit more hostile here. Actually firing a sort of warning shot towards Earth is quite a stretch from when we saw them last, so I'll be interested to see what that's about. Neil Stuke, Joe Martin and Ritu Arya all star in this episode. That's the only sort of main cast I think that's being given as of yet. I could be totally wrong with that, there might be a few more. However, that is what I've got on my little document here that I'm reading out of. Neil Stuke and Joe Martin seem to play the happy couple that we see in the trailer, which are in quite a few of the promotional shots as well, and Ritu Arya, I believe, is one of the promotional shots as well, playing some sort of alien-looking character with a weapon. So that could be who the Judoon are after. I'm not quite sure. We will get into that in just a bit, though. Nicholas Briggs is also back to play the voices of the Judoon, which is great. You know, good old see Nick Briggs every series. It's always a little bit of fun, isn't it? I do quite like that. And Chris Chibnall, regarding the episode, has said they've got a big case to investigate, and it's going to be quite seismic. So that's exciting, hopefully. We've got a few photos, and when I say a few photos, I mean a hell of a lot of photos to get through, so we're going to just talk about those now. I'm going to break down what they might mean, where they might be, you know, what relevance this might have, and it's basically just my best guess as always, so yeah, don't take it as fact, because it's probably not. The first photo we have is the one that we got long ago, before they even started filming half of this episode. We got this promotional image back in May of Jodie and the Judoon captain standing sort of face to face. I believe, and I think I said this at the time as well, this could be inside the Judoon ship with the sort of steampunky type aesthetic. It doesn't really make sense for it to be someone else's ship, especially when there's so many Judoon just sort of standing around with their blasters. There's a few more shots in this sort of steampunky type, warehouse type environment, so I'm kind of feeling that it probably is the Judoon ship, and we'll get onto that in just a bit, because there's a few more of these types of photos as well. So I'm hoping that's right, otherwise it'll be very embarrassing. We got a shot here of a Judoon standing outside Gloucester Cathedral. No biggie, we've seen this like 100 times before, it's just walking around, aren't they? The next one is a shot of the Judoon captain with his lovely little mohawk there in the cafe in Cardiff. Well, at least it was in Cardiff again, could be Gloucester, that is trying to double for, but yes, this is the Judoon captain in there. For some reason he's got a sort of paper case file, which is quite strange considering they're aliens. Maybe that's something that's from Earth that they've just taken to use, or maybe the Judoon have gone retro and started using genuine paper files. The next shot we have is of the woman that I was talking about before, carrying a giant alien blaster. She looks to be an alien herself, although, I mean, that's just a guess based off the headpiece and the general sort of costume aesthetic. I'm not really sure who this is supposed to be. We'll talk about that in just a bit, because there is something that BBC America did accidentally slip by, so we will talk about that a little bit. But this character seems to have some sort of significance. Maybe this is the person the Judoon are after, but either way, they look alien. They're carrying a big alien blaster, and I think they could actually be on the Judoon ship, looking at the sort of lighting, the background lights, and the sort of general sort of dark aesthetic of the room. Could be, could not be, I don't know, it's just a best guess. The next photo we have is of the, well, most of the TARDIS team, you know, minus Graham, in the house of what looks to be Joe Martin and Neil Stokes' characters, as they're also standing here. It looks like someone's house, so I'm just going to have a best guess and say it's theirs. They're looking at some sort of strange alien device on the table. That's basically it. I mean, you can all see that. There's nothing really too much to break down there. Not really sure as to the context, but it seems like it's smashed in through a window or something. Maybe a skylight because of all the glass over the table. I don't really know. However, looks quite interesting. I don't know whether that's a Judoon device. It could be, with the sort of red aesthetic to it. The Judoon always carry the sort of red blasters and scanners and stuff, so it could be that, but it could also be something else as well. Not a clue. The next shot, I presume, is in the same house by the looks of the same fruit basket in the bottom right corner to the last photo. Jodie seems to be scanning or trying to open this sort of chest piece. Not really sure what it is, again, because I'm just trying to give my best guess. Nothing really to analyse here, it's just trying to open something. The Judoon captain, again, in what seems to be the Judoon ship. Again, nothing much to break down, it's just a picture of a character in a location. Same with this one, picture of a Judoon, steampunk layout, probably the Judoon ship. But yeah, yet again, another Judoon inside the Judoon ship with the same lighting, same everything. So that's, again, best guess. And exactly the same here, a bunch of Judoon standing sort of in line in what looks to be the same location, which I do believe is to be a Judoon ship. A bunch of Judoon standing in formation outside of Gloucester Cathedral. We saw them filming this little bit here. The one right at the front is the Judoon captain, I believe, with his helmet still on. But yeah, they all seem to be walking around just... I mean, again, we've talked about this. They're interrogating people, scanning people, shooting people. They're just doing whatever they want, really. This is a picture of the old woman who, well, dead woman walking, really. She's about to get shot in this shot because you can kind of see the Judoon standing in front of her by the looks of it anyway. There's a bit of a dodgy blur effect that I'm not really too sure about on that. But yeah, she is in basic imminent danger. She's going to die, basically. This photo is of Graham holding a cupcake. That's it. that is literally it. I don't know why they released these promotional photos, because it adds nothing to speculation or keen interest. It's just Bradley Walsh holding a cupcake and looking really just pleasantly surprised by it. So that's basically all I've got with this photo. So the rest of the TARDIS team here standing in the same cafe talked about before. Yeah, that's that. The next shot is of Neil Stokes' character and the cafe shop owner standing looking in awe at something, which we work out obviously to be the next shot, which is the Judoon captain sort of standing there looking at the cafe owner. That's basically it. There's nothing really too much to analyse, although basically this is a cafe I would absolutely want to go to. If you look in the top left corner, and there is a hell of a lot of alcohol for a standard cafe. So yeah, tell me where this is and where I can get some of that, because that looks fab. Yeah, very happy with this. Not really too much to break down, unfortunately. In terms of photos, it's very basic. I mean, this series has had some very basic sort of photo shoots. Maybe they're trying to hide something, which is suggested by the BBC America account, which I think a lot of people have picked up on. I think the BBC UK account as well, they've been posting a video which is sort of, oh, you thought the Master reveal was big? Wait till you see this week's episode. Not a clue what that means, but potentially with this being episode 5 out of 10, we could be starting to delve more into the sort of series arc stuff. So maybe we'll get some more stuff about the Timeless Child. Maybe there's some sort of character that'll pop up, or maybe the Master will come back again, or maybe there'll be another time. I don't know. There could be infinite potential for this episode. But the fact that we know, again, very little about it other than the Judoon are here and they're after something, I think there could be something, so I'm looking forward to it. That's basically all I have to say about this. I don't really see what else I can break down, naturally. With all the exciting stuff that I was talking about before, you know, possibly having some sort of connection to the overall series arc, that could be where Trish Chibnall's writing credit comes in, if he had to write some stuff about that to sort of weave into this separate story that Vinay Patel has also wrote. So yeah, very interesting stuff. I'll be interested to see where this goes, but for now that's pretty much that. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment below for any more suggestions in the future, subscribe with notifications on to see the latest Doctor Who Series 12 videos on this channel. I'll see you tomorrow with my review of Fugitive of the Judoon. I'm very excited for this one. Hopefully it'll be good. You know, I'm really crossing my fingers for this one. I didn't really enjoy Orphan 55. I thought Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror was pretty good. I quite enjoyed it, and the opening was pretty good. So hopefully we're going to have another consistent run here and another smashing it out of the park episode, but I'm crossing my fingers. We'll see. I've got a Patreon page if you want to support the channel, Discord server if you want to join the conversation about the latest series and latest episodes of Doctor Who, and that's pretty much that. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.